All right, guys, this is the first episode of the second season of the Duck Chronicles. A new journey has begun. And when you're raising animals, it's not if something's going to go wrong, it's what's going to go wrong. And we had a few things already. You can see they're under a red light there. These guys are under a reptile light. I'll show you why I had to use one of my reptile lights somewhere else earlier and fall back to this. But just like last year, I've got them in a brooder. And I'm using these metal feeders for water with the water catch, and all the extra water that they spill goes down there. And that's so important because we already had one duck almost die on us. First thing this morning, I mean, here's what happened, guys. The company that ships them, Metzer, ended up shipping them a little bit late in the day. They shipped enough late on the day that they left California that they ended up one extra day in shipment. Usually it's 2 days. These guys were in a box for 3 days. So I was in a rush to get them fed and get some water into them, get them hydrated. I got them home and I couldn't find our little feeders, feeders that we use for waterers. So I put regular waterers in there just to get them hydrated. And pretty soon everybody was wet and matted. And we had one little duck go down, just laying in the bottom, and I thought she was dead. And happy to tell you that we were able to save her. I'll show you her in a minute. She's in the hospital tub with some buddies, and right now she's only there because she's a buddy, because we could put her right back in. But everybody else looks pretty good. There's supposed to be 60. I haven't done a full head count yet, but I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 55. We did have one little duck that did die, that didn't make it soon after she came out of the box. I don't think she froze or anything or got too wet. I think she just was one that wasn't going to make it. We have one other injury. I guess you'd call it an injury. We have a little hospital tank over here. And I think everything's going to be okay. So we've got a little water in there, and I've just filled it very, very shallow with only a few ducks. They shouldn't make it too wet, though I do see some moisture they've already got going on there. But they're nice and warm. And it's either this one or this one of those two, that was all wet and matted and looked like she was going to die. And I used a blow dryer to get her dry fast and got her under this beautiful reptile lamp. These are reptile heaters. I'll put a link in the video notes for you. And they are just fantastic because it's a deep heat. It's what a lizard or a snake would want to have pointed at them. And we all know that birds are related to the reptile kingdom. And what I want to show you here, though, is this was our injury. And let's see how she's doing now. She's probably still having some mobility issues. But I think she's going to be okay. She still can't really get around very well. She's a little runner duck. She's probably one of the chocolate runners. But she's working it out. Now, so what happened to her? How did she end up this way? She's about 100 times better than she was when I found her. Well, over here, this is the shipment box that they came in. And I don't remember what it's called, but there's a little formula you can have them given that they put in these little plastic cups here, and they tape them up. It's like some green stuff. It kind of looks like mashed up stuff. It gives them some nutrition and hydration to help them through their trip. She had managed to crawl in there, and she was head first in there. It looked like she was dead, squished up in that little cup. And she couldn't stand at all. When I set her down, and she immediately just fell over on her back. We got the reptile lamp on her. And the main reason she's in here is she just can't be in a brooder with that many other birds where they're all competitive and running around on top of each other. So we're trying to get her mobility back. And she may have to be inside a little bit longer than everybody else, because my original plan was no brooder at all, but these guys just aren't mobile enough yet. And with the extra day of shipping, there was a problem. But these guys will probably be outside by tomorrow, and they probably will not come back inside at all. I've got their whole area set up out there, and all I'm worried about is making sure that they can get around, and you can see they're already getting quite mobile. And I have come to determine that I think that brooders can often become death boxes. I mean, we had one almost die within the first few minutes of being here from getting wet. Now, I didn't have my water solution in place, but sooner or later these guys get wet, and they get bunched up in corners. And I just think if you give them space to move around, they have a lot better chance of taking care of themselves and looking after themselves. And the reality is when our ducks lay eggs and hatch their own eggs, we see these guys at 2 days of age leave mom, run outside, and go through the fence mom can't go through, chase bugs, and then come back to mom on their own. So they manage pretty well. They just need to be warm at night, and they need to be a place to get dry. So that's what we'll be doing. I'll go outside just for a minute here, and I'll tell you a little bit about what's in store with this season, because it's going to be awesome. And I promise you the video quality will get better as soon as we move outdoors. But there's their new home right there. It's 16 by 16 made with feedlot panels. We've used that a lot. We've got a tarp set up for them in the back, and we will hang heat lamps down from that table right there. I don't have my shoes on, but you see way over there in the distance, past the picnic table right there, there's the little 4x8 chicken tractor has been modified. Right now there's over 100 quail in there. They've been in there since they were 4 days old. And we actually lost a couple of them in the brooder, and we've lost none out here since we got this set up, kind of like a big outdoor brooder. And it just seems to work better. We'll be talking about quail. We've had some rat problems in the barn and the garage. And I've got a dynamite new rat trap that's been working well, and an old school version as well. We've gotten rid of a lot of them in the last couple days. And we need to do that because we're going to have students that are going to be sleeping out there, and they don't want to share that with rats. But on the Duck Chronicles this year, you're going to see new team members coming in because we're bringing 2 kitties in. I think I have found them. We're talking to some people right now about it. But 2 young cats we're going to bring in, about 3-month-old kittens that we can work with the birds so that they know not to harm our birds. And they're going to live outside, and they're going to be on patrol out here, so we'll have that coming. All the girls are up on the front pasture right now. We're going to have a new watering system for them in their nighttime enclosure coming for you. We've got the pond put in down there. It's not the most impressive thing, but it is a pond. We'll be putting fencing in there because they cannot be in that pond constantly. We're going to have to be able to let them in for a couple hours in the evening before they go to bed when they're in that east pasture or west pasture. And a lot of other great stuff is coming. Guys, hang with me. I know this isn't the most exciting first episode of the Duck Chronicles, but we are back, and we're taking you where reality TV can never take you, to reality. And I'll check in tomorrow with an update on the ducks' progress, and hopefully our little girl will get pretty mobile, and we'll be able to follow her mates out to the new enclosure very, very soon.